You downtown Abbey, bitch.
All right, are you ready? Or do you want me to say other stuff?
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. All right, I'm good to go.
Well, all right.
Come here! Let's go. Give me a flipper.
It's December, and welcome to the something edition of Amateur Hour. So we're at the end of the year. SETX FFL 5 is almost over, and we just have the playoffs to go. So, Troy,
Yes.
have you enjoyed this season?
No.
Okay. Have you at least enjoyed talking about it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, all right. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go over weeks 8 and 9 and then give you a little playoff preview of how we think things are going to go. So we'll just jump right on into it. Troy, why don't you tell us about week 8,
All
which
right,
was
so
on some kind of date.
Week 8 was on the 17th of November. So we had the Showstoppers playing the Expendables. Showstoppers got the win 47-29.
Yeah, well, when the Expendables play like a real team, they tend to not do great.
they get exposed a little bit, I guess. I honestly don't remember that game. But yeah, it was looks to be a pretty good defeat there for the Showstoppers. The next game was the Storm versus Express, and the Storm put it on them 42-6. That seemed to be a pretty easy win there. Express has been so up and down all year. So next game, Squad got a forfeit win over Exclusive. And
Exclusive was done. I think
Exclusive,
they're over.
Exclusive missed the last 2 weeks of the season, so not a good showing by them. The next game was the 409 boys against the Spartans, and the 409 boys put up 65 points and beat them 65-12. The Spartans just trying to figure out this game.
Yeah, that's a team that's never played before.
Yeah.
So there you go.
The next game was the Clydesdales against the Herd, and the Clydesdales came out on top 34-25. That was a good back-and-forth game till the very end there. And the last game was the Jack Boys against SETX Elite, and Jack Boys won 50-20. A lot of high scores in Week 8.
A lot of really high scores and a lot of really low scores.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping in the seasons to come, if we get some consistent play out of some of these teams, we can actually have an upper and a lower division.
Yeah.
So you don't have these weeks where you have 30-point wins. We want them all to come down to, the last drive or whatever. Be close games. That's where our goal is. But
well, you say that, and if you look at the standings, you can see we have an upper and a lower division.
Sure, we do.
Not actually in action, but in theory, we have it. Look at what we have. I mean, the top 4 or 5 teams are head and shoulders above the next 4 or 5 teams.
And just quickly, the bottom 4 teams are SETX Elite, Squad, Spartans, and Exclusive. And really, I mean, if those 4 teams played each other every week, I think they would have a lot better time, have a lot more fun playing football than if they're playing the Jack Boys or Showstoppers.
Even at 8, the Herd makes the playoff at 3 and 6. I mean,
right.
You could basically say that's. I mean, come on, that 3 games below 500.
Right.
Make
No,
playoffs,
they make 4 good groups with this grouping, because you would have the teams I just mentioned. The middle grouping would be the Herd, Clydesdales, Express, and Expendables. To me, every game that those 4 teams played against each other would be good games.
Yeah.
And then the top 4, the 409 boys, Jack Boys, Storm, and Showstoppers. Once again, I think they can all compete. So it actually does seed itself out, but it's at the end of the year, and you never know at the beginning of the year who's going to be where in this stuff, because it's not like other sports where you just, you wouldn't have Lamar play in the SEC. I mean,
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. Week 9.
On to Week 9.
Week 9 happened on 11/24/2019. First game was Expendables beating the Spartans 70-12.
We found a 70 spot. That is incredible.
Yep. The next game was the Storm taking on Jack Boys. This was one of the games of the year, I thought. The Storm hung on and beat the Jack Boys 35-27.
Good game.
It was a good game all throughout. Everybody played very hard. But the Storm, just like I said, they hung on there at the end.
Yeah.
The Clydesdales beat Squad 43-22. Exclusive beat Express by forfeit.
Yeah, they lost to Express by forfeit.
Express didn't even show up. They
No,
were like,
Exclusive
nope.
didn't show up.
I'm sorry, Exclusive didn't even show up. And SETX Elite fell to the 4-9 boys 42-6. And in the final game of the year, the Herd lost to the Showstoppers 29-12. Troy, you played quarterback in that game. We
I
didn't
did.
have our normal quarterback, but I thought for the first half at least it was a pretty good game.
I was just trying to get everybody the ball the last game of the year, and I feel like everybody did, and we kind of played some good defense, actually. We had a couple of picks there in the middle of the game. So, it was what it was. The better team won that game.
There was one of the longest touchdowns ever scored in flag football history in that game. Not long because of length of yards, but time, because I scored a long touchdown. It just took a very long time for me to get there.
like a 50-yard touchdown.
I think people just got bored and quit chasing me.
Took 7.5 minutes off the
They're
clock
like,
for one pull run
that's
touchdown.
enough of all that. Okay, so here are the final standings going into the playoffs. Troy, why don't you go ahead and give us the first four?
From the bottom or from the top?
Let's go from the bottom to the top.
All right.
You know what? When we do this, why don't we just give a little review of the season very quickly for each of these teams.
All right, so the 8th seed into the playoffs, the Herd at 3-6.
No, hang on. I meant starting at 12.
Oh, starting at
Yeah,
12.
let's give these guys a final, an epilogue.
Well, then we'll edit that out and just go right to 12.
I'll for sure edit that out.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. You'll
Okay,
edit that part out that you just did, but you won't edit me out. Okay.
Yep.
On we go. Number 12, Exclusive, at 1-8 with 2 forfeits to their record. Not a good season for them.
Well, they were a revamp of Team New Balance, and I thought for sure these guys would show up and at least make the playoffs. But, sometimes you don't have good communication through your team, and if you miss that first week, you're just going to miss more, and I think they just all lost interest.
Their quarterback kept telling everybody to Google him when he would throw a touchdown pass.
Okay.
And then he threw a punch.
That'll happen.
That guy. Number 11 was the Spartans at 0-9, but they were in 11th because they only had 1 forfeit. Just had a rough season.
Brand new to the sport.
Yeah, just not much you can say. Just got really good guys, nice guys. I liked them.
Some of the nicest people I've ever met. They were all Marines, I believe.
Yeah.
And they were so nice. I really liked those guys.
Tried really hard. Just could not get close in the game.
You're right.
The 10 seed. This was the Squad at 2-7 with 1 forfeit on their record. The Squad's been in this league from the very beginning.
Yep.
And just can't find a way to get any better.
Well, I think that all comes down to having a quarter. If they had a quarterback,
Yeah, they played 10 different quarterbacks throughout the season.
if they just had, if they just had a medium quarterback,
because they've got one of the best athletes in the entire league on their team.
Yeah, David Dixon's probably one of the best athletes to ever play in the league. In the 5 years, like you said, they played, that dude is unreal.
Yeah,
and they have some other good pieces, but they need a consistent quarterback and a consistent group of guys who can come out and play defense every now and then. But they're at 10, they're 2-7.
And then the 9 seed, right at the playoff line, is the SETX Elite at 2-7.
For a first-year team, the SETX Elite I thought did okay.
They're a first-year team. They've been the Punishers. They've been all these other teams.
No,
Yeah.
I would say their first year because they have so many different elements, so many different teams.
Okay.
Like Gary Joseph is their captain.
Okay.
Aaron Ward helps him out a lot.
Yeah.
Now you have 2 or 3 Punishers guys, but I think they have a lot of people that have never played or played on different teams.
Yeah, they definitely are in need of a quarterback.
Oh, sure. I mean, they need a lot of things, but, they didn't forfeit any games. They showed up for every single one. Hell, if not for us, the Herd, when they played us the first week of the season, on the last play of the game, scoring, they'd be in the playoffs instead of us.
That's true.
So I thought for a first-year team, they did pretty well. Okay, I'll do the next 4,
All
and
right,
then you can finish.
here we
out.
go.
So number 8 at the 8th seed. These are the playoff teams. The 8th seed coming in at powerful 3-6 record.
Started the season 3-0, lost the last 6 to squeak into the playoffs.
The Herd is number 8. You know, huh?
You're loud today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Echoing the whole building.
Well, the Herd's at 3-8.
3-6.
3-6.
You're so flustered now.
Troy just advised me I'm very loud today.
He's echoing through the whole building. It's fun. Everybody's turning around looking.
Well, they can go to hell. So we're at Brick Oven Pizza, by the way. So
If you didn't hear it.
you know, I think with our team, with the Herd, it's
Oh.
whoa.
Oh, that, can I get it to go? Yeah. Thank you.
It's becoming a shit show.
We've totally just lost our thunder.
Okay. So I think the story with the Herd this year is that a lot of age has happened. You know, and I think a lot of people have moved on in life to other things besides flag football. And
Except me, and
except us.
that's about it.
You know, so it is what it is. We don't have the athletes that the other teams have, and we don't have the dedication they have, and that's why we end up at 3-6, the 8th seed. But hey, we're in the playoffs, so who knows?
Yes.
Number 6 seed to be in the playoffs is the Express, or maybe Express. So it starts with an X. They're coming in at 5-4 with a points against being 204. And, you know, they are also a pretty aged team, but they also have some pretty good talent. Marvin's on that team. He's very fast, Marvin Williams. And Tootie, I think, is still playing quarterback for them, right?
I guess. I can't remember what.
Yeah, and that to me is what gets them to 5-4, is just having those guys that have experience playing. But I don't think that they're a serious threat to win a championship or anything. But they are at number 5 coming into the playoffs at 5-4. So go ahead with the top 4.
Well, there's one more in number 5. Go with number 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said number 6.
Yeah.
So Express is number 6. The Expendables are number 5, coming in at 6-3. They allow 226 points. The Expendables have a quarterback now. They have a lot of really fast people that can catch the football, people that can run with it. They have some good flag pullers. They play physical defense. Their problem is I just don't think they hang together real well sometimes.
Yeah.
I think they drop crucial passes. I think they blow coverage sometimes at really important parts of the game. But if they could fix that, they could win the championship.
And with Trey Green at quarterback, I think they can beat anybody.
Absolutely.
I think they can. I really do.
As long as, like I said, they don't make those crucial mistakes at the wrong time.
But if you put pressure on him, though, I think that's their weakness. You pressure him, he can't get out of the way fast enough.
Yeah, I think they would be well served to run some kind of like double duels thing or whatever, and let him just throw it to one of those fast guys, because you can only allocate so many people to a quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, and if you ran double duels or you did something where he's getting the ball out fast, maybe that would work out. Okay, so those are teams 8 through 5, and I'll let Troy give you your top 4.
All right, the top 4, starting at number 4, the 4 seed are the 409 boys at 7-2. They've only given up 147 points on the season, but they're in 4th because they have a head-to-head loss with the number 3 team. So 409 boys at 4th place does seem kind of odd because they're usually in the top 2 or 3. But I mean, it's by point, it's by head-to-head. So 409 boys have a pretty good spot. They can easily win the championship. They're one of those teams that can win the championship.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They have just as good a chance as anybody else. I think, you know, given the right set of circumstances, they could easily win it. Now, I don't think they're the most athletically talented, but I think of these last 4 teams, they know the most, or at least second most, about flag football.
Yeah. And the problem is sometimes they show up with 7, 8 guys sometimes. But when they have them all there, they're really good. The number 3 seed is the Jack Boys, also at 7-2. They've given up 204 points. But
they have the head-to-head against the 409
Yeah, they have
boys.
the head-to-head against the 409 boys. But their 2 losses were against the 2 teams ahead of them, the Storm and the Showstoppers. And they're just. I mean, I still think athletically they're the most gifted team on the field.
Yes. I
They
think they
just-
are the most athletically gifted team on the field.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
They just, but there's not a team that can't be beat out here. And right this season, 7-2. I mean, they 2 losses. That's unusual for them because they never.
Right.
So I mean, maybe we're seeing a turning of the tides here, because at number 2 is the Storm at 8-1,
Yep.
giving up 188 points. Very good numbers there. What a turnaround! You get a quarterback, and you get some good guys on your that come over to your team from the Showstoppers and what have you. And
Yeah.
now all of a sudden you're the second seed at 8-1.
Now that Jack Boys game, that Jack Boys win shocked me. I was impressed. I think anytime you can come away with a victory against them, especially when they have their people, it's pretty impressive. Honestly, I think of these top 4 teams, they're about number 4 if everybody has all their people there. Only because they've been together for a very short amount of time.
Yeah, experience.
And I think the quarterback play from the other 3 is better than the quarterback play from the Storm. But that's my opinion. I'm sure, sure Chase and I'm sure Chase Boudreaux will be mad at me.
he can make the plays, but he gets more. If you line up all these quarterbacks together of the top 4 teams, he's the one that gets more emotional. Things can happen quickly and get him throwing interceptions really quick. So
yeah.
he's the one that has the least amount of composure of the top 4 quarterbacks.
Right, and we can go over that here in a minute after we name the last, the top team. But that I feel like they are the strangest of the top 4 teams. I don't know if they're the best flag football team I've ever seen, or if they've just had some really great moments. I really don't know. They're hard to pin down.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Sure, but I'm not even saying lucky. I'm just saying they shined at the right times. Situationally, they played very well.
And the number 1 seed, the Showstoppers, also at 8-1. They have a head-to-head win over the Storm, and they've only given up 143 points on the season. That's incredible.
Well, that's something, because those guys they line up a team that plays cohesive, smart football the entire year. The loss they have, I believe, is against the 4-9 boys.
Yep.
Who, like we were talking about a minute ago, are an extremely experienced team. Diltz, I believe, will be there for the playoffs. Their quarterback, Jacob Diltz, and he, to me, is the best quarterback in the league. I think if I were going to bet on a team to win, I would take the Showstoppers. I would go Showstoppers 1, Jack Boys 2, 4-9 Boys 3, Storm 4.
I can see that. I mean that's how I've seen it all year long, basically, and so I mean what can you say? You've got.
I think there's 4 great teams in these playoffs, and I think any of those 4 teams, Blake Dugas, including the Storm, I'm not leaving you out because I know Blake's going to talk to me on Sunday when he sees me. No, I think any of those top 4 teams could win the championship, and I wouldn't be shocked about it at all. I think the 409 boys continue to show how experienced they are. The Jack boys continue to show how athletic they are. The Storm, I have no idea what to expect because they have so many different really good players.
Yeah.
And they have pretty fun schemes they use. So I think that they just have a neat combination of stuff. And the Showstoppers just do everything right almost all the time. So it's just like this battle between consistency and athleticism and experience and creativity. I'm pretty excited to see who wins.
Yeah, and of the 8 teams in the playoffs, 4 of the 8 teams have championship experience. That already have a championship under their belts.
Yeah, and don't forget that a lot of guys that play on the Storm now played on some of those other teams.
Yeah,
and they have played in championships before in these big games.
And that's the one team of the top 4 that hasn't. There's
right.
The 1 seed, the 3 seed, the 4 seed, and the 8 seed all have won championships in this league. So, I mean, it comes down to who plays in winning time, who's going to make those plays at that time.
There you go.
You've got some good playoff experience with all these teams. So who makes the plays when it comes down to it?
Well, I'm excited. I'm ready to see who's going to win. So we will see you all on Sunday.